Hello everyone, and welcome back to Box Clever's rehearsals for their production of Romeo and Juliet. We are here at the end of day 5 of rehearsals. We have spent the last few days working through the play and finding a shape for every single scene. And then today we've done our first stagger through, which is doing the play from beginning to end, which is a lot. How are you feeling?
Tired.
We're on a little bit less fresh face.
Yeah, there's an exhaustion, but like a rewarding exhaustion. Like, we done good.
Yeah, I was very happy with how it went. Just the fact that we managed to get through it without
any harsh stops.
Hiccups and anything. Always like this bit of rehearsals. The first couple of times you see it, when you finally get to see it in its entirety, it's always an exciting moment. And I think afterwards, I was like, it's alright, it's decent.
Yeah, now it's that bit of kind of going, this is decent, we've got something here. We just need to really polish it now and test it and make it really slick. And that can only come through repeating and repeating and repeating and learning. And I think one of the things I always love about doing a first run through is that you kind of just want to go straight into a second run through, because all the bits that were a little bit jaggedy, we kind of don't need to work a lot of it as well, because it will work itself out by just doing it again. So that's going to be a lot of what we're going to do over the next few days. It's like doing it again and again and again and again, so we become really familiar with it and it really feels in our bodies. What has surprised you the most about the play or about the characters in the last few days? What do you feel like you know now that you didn't know on Friday when we first came into this room?
I think for me, it's all about that journey that they go on over such a short period of time, and how totally changed they are. And actually, it's not just about the fact that two kids fall in love and get married really quickly, and then they're not allowed to be together, so they end their lives. It's more about the events that take place for them are so, horrible. They're so unexpected, and it just hits them as human beings. And so feeling all those things through for me, and really getting into like the change in character, particularly after like Juliet is married and has her wedding night. After that change in her persona has been really cool to discover.
Yeah, I love that. I love what we found with that. I love what you were doing with that. It's amazing.
What I found surprising and also shocking is just the amount of responsibility that the narrator in this version of the play has, as well as all the grown-ups, the other characters have, that determine and and how they affect these two young people. And every piece we went through, it was just another stack of this. It's like, it's their fault. It's the friar's fault here. It's mum's fault here. It's my fault here. Me being the narrator, not Rhian. But you know what I mean? Like it's a lot. It's like, wow. It's very easy to get to realise that now.
Yeah. We've used the term plate spinning quite a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
He's spinning all these plates.
And it comes from a good place, but plates are not meant to be wobbling on a stick, are they? They're gonna smash eventually.
Very true. Very true. You do it off a spinning plate, do you?
Challenge you.
How about for you, Iskandar?
I think what I've realised is how much this boy, he's a teenage boy, and how much his emotions are so on the surface. and you go from one to another in half a second to another. We go through like 5 different stages of each scene, especially in this version, and how much you just need to commit to that, and it's hard, and I think it's a good challenge as an actor for me, to get to grips with that. And there's a bit of a way to go, but we're getting there.
Yeah. You've brought us on to challenges, and you've talked about what you think your challenges as an actor over the rest of rehearsals. Have you got any sense of that? What are you guys thinking now as actors? What are your challenges? What are you coming into the next few days wanting to achieve?
Well, we were talking today about, kind of leading on from what I was saying actually, about like humans' thoughts changing from like thinking from 1 to 100 very quickly, and that you don't have to necessarily overthink those changes in thoughts. And so for me, I really want to like try and play with that, and eliminate stuff that might acting that goes on in your head that you just need to act. You just need to be. Yeah, that's my challenge for myself.
Great.
My challenge is for the next days to ensure that it's absolutely clear why the narrator is doing these things, so that ultimately by the end the audience will have a choice and they'll know, you know, the outcome, whether it was love or whatever they feel, but they have a decision of how it ends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good challenge for me as well, to make sure when I'm watching that we're always clear on that, or that we're always working towards that. Before we finish, do you have any questions for me?
What are your favourite bits to direct? Do you prefer the nice love scenes between Romeo and Juliet, or do you prefer the gut-wrenching stuff, or somewhere in between?
It's so funny, isn't it? Because like, what's really surprised me about directing this play is there's no rest. It's never dull. This version especially, it's always, the adrenaline is so massive, it's always on. And I guess what I enjoy, this might be a bit of a cop-out, is like, the scenes that you think are love scenes are often the most like aggressive and violent and visceral and like primal and animal, when we think it's all la-di-da and up here and lovely roses and all of that kind of stuff, and it's not, it's harder. And then the scenes that you think are like hard fighting are actually full of love and peace and beauty. So I like finding the opposites in each of them, and not assuming anything about what a scene is.
Now, there have been hundreds of productions of Romeo and Juliet. Has there been anything you've always wanted to emphasize or bring out about this play?
Yeah, I think there's often in the play, we all talk about star-crossed lovers and fate and how this was written in the stars. And what it feels like it tells the audience and the reader is it was inevitable. This couldn't have been stopped. But ultimately what I feel like needs to be brought out of the play that isn't necessarily always brought out is that in the space of 4 days, 5 young people die. And that should not happen in society. And this is not inevitable. There are several points at which this could have been stopped. That's what this version is doing. That's part of what the narrator is doing. He's looking at all the moments where he tries to stop it. And all the moments of decision that are not necessarily Romeo and Juliet, that are the people surrounding Romeo and Juliet, the grown-ups, the people in charge of this society, how the decisions they make are what drives them to their death. But it's more about responsibility than it is inevitability.